Hey guys, what's up? It's Monkey. I'm back for another video. Now, in today's video, we will be continuing What If Cell Went Back Too Far. With the last part's massive cliffhanger, it's only fair that I give you guys the next part. So with this part, we will now be heading off into a new saga. It will have two arcs, in which both were made by me. So we have had parts 1 to 3 covering the Dragon Ball saga. Well, I guess you could just call it Dragon Ball. We had part 4, which covered the Saiyan saga, while part 5 covered the Namek saga with Frieza's family, and part 6 to 8 will technically be called the Cell saga. However, I'm going to instead say that part 6 is just the Cell arc, and part 7 and 8 are going to be called the Universal arc. You will understand why in a bit. So I guess what you could say is part 6 is the Cell saga, and part 7 and 8 will be called the Universal saga. The first part will cover the recruitment arc, and the next part will cover the Unbound arc. I guess we can call part 6 to 8 the Universal Cell saga. There we go. That's the saga that is part 6 to 8. So before we get into this part, make sure you do go down below, however, and leave a like as well as subscribing with post notifications on, as I really appreciate it. Also, do make sure you share this video, but with all that said, let's get right into it. Cell enters the atmosphere of planet Namek, landing on the bluish-green planet. It had been a few years since he had killed Cooler and Frieza, and Namek was now a peaceful planet, protected by the likes of Nail. Cell was greeted by Nail, who was really happy to see Cell. He had so much respect for him, however, he could tell something was off. Cell, his aura, it gave off a really sad presence, as if he felt guilty for something. However, Nail decided not to question this. He asked Cell what brought him here, to which Cell asked if he could take residency on the planet. Nail was surprised that Cell wanted to live here, but accepted this with open arms, as did all the rest of the Namekians. So Cell and Nail would begin training, and let's say they train for about 6 or so months. This gives Nail a massive boost in terms of strength, causing Nail to get much stronger, since he is training with Cell after all. And Nail even starts catching up to Cell in terms of strength. And Cell does eventually ask if he can use the Dragon Balls. Of course, Nail says yes, and they summon Porunga. Cell looks up and he makes his first wish, to bring back to life the warrior, Son Goku. Porunga, however, explains this wish cannot be done, as Goku has already been brought back. Cell looks shocked. Porunga explains that after Cell stabbed him, Goku did not die of natural causes. He actually died from him, which means Goku was able to be revived. And when he came back, the virus was gone, which means Cell had indirectly saved Goku's life. Cell couldn't help but shed a tear. He couldn't believe it. Goku was actually alive. The Z fighters on Earth must have revived him. So with that, Cell looked up, so happy he could finally be at ease. He began contemplating his 3 wishes. He tried to think, what did he really want? He'd only really wanted to revive Goku, but he didn't really know what he wanted in his life. That was when it hit him, however. His ultimate purpose in life. His main goal, the reason he'd been created in the first place. It was because he was meant to become the perfect being. However, he had completely forgotten about this goal with everything going around him. Cell knew exactly what his next wish would be. He looked up and said to Porunga, "Make me perfect." Porunga's eyes glowed red as he said, "The wish has been done." Cell looked down as he suddenly took a green glow. His lightning began to crackle around him. His energy exploded, rapidly growing at an incredible pace. He screamed as all the Namekians watched in shock. Cell began to morph, his body contorting. He was being forced to transform through a wish. After all, Cell continued to scream as a massive green explosion erupted from his body, slowly growing in size. As Cell continued to scream, his body was continuing to morph and morph, nearly finished with the transformation. The entirety of Namek could feel this power. The planet was shaking. Heck, even those on Earth could sense an extremely high power coming from Namek. However, Cell continued to scream as his energy burst. The people on Earth did decide to just disregard whatever this power was, but Cell let out one final roar as a green pillar emerged, and there was a crater left from this green pillar. There was dust everywhere, smoke clouding it, nobody could see a thing, and they then looked in shock. From the crater, from where the Bugman had originally stood, emerged the perfect being, Cell. Cell had received a massive power boost. He was far stronger than his original counterpart, and he couldn't help but feel refreshed, rejuvenated. He was Cell, the perfect being. Cell began to unload multiple kicks and punches, and he was really just kind of getting used to this new body. He landed in front of Purunga, wondering what he could make of his next two wishes. Cell, however, then had an idea. He had actually been thinking of this for a while now, but his next wish was an interesting one. It was to make Neko able to breathe in space. Neko was kind of surprised by this, but Cell was already moving on to the next wish, to make an extremely sturdy spaceship that could be used as living quarters and could fly itself, sort of like what Frieza had when he had his spaceship. But with that, a spaceship appeared in front of Cell, and he couldn't help but smile. He walked up to it, placing a hand on the ship as Purunga vanished. The majority of the Namekians were quite perplexed as to what Cell was actually doing, to which Cell then took his spaceship and flew away. Now, I do want you guys to name the spaceship, so if you have got a good spaceship name, maybe something relating to Cell and whatever Cell, cells and all that, please make sure you do go down below and comment it, because I will be taking suggestions for this spaceship name. I'll probably be using one of your guys' spaceship name suggestions. But with that, Cell flew off. He landed at the secluded place he'd been staying, putting the spaceship down next to him. Neko then landed beside him, to which Cell told him that they were going to train. Now, Cell was still very much damaged mentally, and it was because of that he still could not return to Earth. He wanted to spend some time out in the universe, the galaxy, on Namek, and so it was because of that Cell decided that Neko and him would travel the universe, either by flight or by using their spaceship. Cell, however, also wanted to maybe recruit some people to travel around the universe with him. Now, Neko would be pretty surprised by this, but he would bring up the issue of Namek being unprotected, to which Cell would tell Neko he could easily fly back at super speeds just in case something did happen to Neko, and there probably was no one in the universe who was stronger than him at this point, so Namek was pretty safe. So, although reluctant, Neko and Cell began their explorations of the universe, going through to multiple different planets, flying around, fighting with multiple different people. Most of the people they did fight though were already quite weak, so it didn't really give Cell a challenge. Now, one thing that was interesting is Cell actually wanted to recruit more people. He liked cruising around the universe, and Cell thought a good way to have more fun would be to have more people. So Cell and Neko continued on their adventures until they would run into a ship, and aboard this ship was a certain Saiyan, Turles. He was all alone in his main ship, going across the universe to plant a tree, the Tree of Might. Cell landed inside, greeting Turles, who was kind of shocked. He finds out about the fruit of the Tree of Might, and Cell shows Turles that he can easily obliterate an entire planet with just a flick of his finger, so this stupid fruit is kind of meaningless towards him. Turles is quite shocked by Cell's strength, and after hearing about Cell's plan to go across the universe fighting people, having fun, Turles can't help but want to join, considering how much stronger Turles will get by training with Cell. And the fact he doesn't really have anything better to do. I mean, yeah, he has gotten a few fruits from, planting them, but he's only found a few planets with life to plant his tree on, so it's not really going anywhere, especially the fact he's all alone and his Crusher Core is gone now. So with that, Turles joins Cell as they continue on their journey throughout space. About a year or two has passed now, and both Neko and Turles are so much stronger. They've been training with perfect Cell, so he's obviously going to be giving them a massive boost. They even end up discovering an interesting planet. It's called Yardrat. Cell is pretty surprised by this planet as he meets Paibara, and Cell, Turles and Neko all end up training on Yardrat for about a year, which gives them all some pretty big boosts. While there, Cell ends up meeting a particular Yardratian who he has a lot of fun sparring with. He even learns the instant transmission from him, a technique Cell is sure will come in handy. After about a year on Yardrat, everyone has grown much stronger. They all learn the instant transmission and have much better spirit control, but with that they continue on. However, they actually end up recruiting someone new. Yeah, the Yardratian Cell sparred with. Cell did tell him about his crew, and the Yardratian couldn't help but feel intrigued. He liked the idea of travelling the universe, kicking back, fighting people, putting his abilities to good use, and it was with that he decided to join. Now, just like I said to name Cell's spaceship, I'm going to be letting you guys name our little Yardratian here. He is quite the capable fighter and will definitely be a good asset to Cell and will be making many appearances in the future. So, I do want you all to name him because I can't really think of a good name for the Yardratian, and I think it's just more fun to let you guys in the comments name him. So we're going to need a name for the spaceship and for this Yardratian. So they continue travelling across the universe and they all have just quite a bit of fun, to be honest. Nail gets kicked back and relax, and they all just train. Cell actually feels quite at ease with them. They eventually start going to more and more planets that are more so on the outskirts of the universe, but they really just kind of find nothing. However, one day they come across a planet that's really far off. Cell wants to explore it. Maybe they'll find something interesting on it. It's called Planet Vampa. On it are two Saiyans, Paragus and Broly. Yep, Paragus and Broly are making an appearance in this story. Cell meets these two and finds out their story, and he thinks Paragus is a bit foolish. Cell explains that he was the one who defeated Vegeta, and that it makes no sense to hold a grudge against him in any case. They helped him off the planet and take them back to Namek, where Paragus stays with some of the Namekians where Cell was staying. With that, Cell offers Broly a spot on his crew. Broly, not really having anything better to do, accepts, and he joins them. But with that, Cell now has a pretty well-rounded crew. We've got the Saiyans, Broly and Turles, and Cell can't help but smile when he looks at Turles, because he oddly looks quite similar to Goku. He doesn't know why, maybe they're related or something, but he kind of just likes it, you know? It feels like Goku's still sort of with him in some sense. And he's got the other two on his crew. Nail, that is currently the strongest, and our soon-to-be named Yardratian. So yeah, Nail is kind of at the top of the pack right now, obviously other than Cell. So yeah, obviously because he spent much more time training with him. So they go across the universe having a good old time, fighting strong opponents, enjoying life on different planets, and really just going across the universe. It's quite strange. You never would expect that these lot would get along with each other. They're all so different, but they feel so connected. Cell smiles, the first genuine smile he's had in a long time. As they continue to go across the universe, they come across a particular planet with an extremely high energy. Cell stands up and laughs. Finally, a challenge! Make course for that planet. The ship speeds towards the planet. The planet currently has a key which rivals even Cell's. Cell can sense this power. It'll definitely be a tough fight. He's not sure who this person is, but the ship speeds towards the planet. Cell laughing. He can't wait for this fight. But I think we will end it there. So, what did you guys think? What do you think about Cell's crew and this new arc, which I think is actually pretty interesting? There wasn't much action per se in this part, but there will be a lot in the next part, and we will go to see what everyone is really made of in a tough battle. This, of course, will be on this strange planet with an immensely high ki, one which even rivals Cell. So, who do you think these people could be on this planet that even rivals Cell? Let me know down in the comments below. But if you did enjoy this video, please make sure you leave a like and subscribe with post notifications on. Also, make sure you share this video. But with all that said, I will see you all in the next video. Laters!